Like and subscribe to Sinister Shadow Studio, the alien masquerade. A kaleidoscope of colors danced above, mesmerizing the small town with its hypnotic display. Little did we know, it was a macabre masquerade orchestrated by extraterrestrial beings with a sinister agenda. As I stepped out to marvel at the cosmic performance, a sudden stillness blanketed the air. The vibrant lights transformed into an ensemble of ethereal figures, each adorned with intricate masks that concealed their true visage. Curiosity morphed into dread as I realized these beings were not here to celebrate, but to deceive. The masks they wore were not mere accessories. They were conduits for a malevolent force that sought to infiltrate our world under the guise of celestial wonder. The townsfolk, captivated by the mesmerizing display, welcomed the extraterrestrial masqueraders with open arms. Unbeknownst to them, the aliens had seamlessly blended into the fabric of our society, adopting human form to walk among us undetected. As the days passed, a subtle unease settled over the town. Strange occurrences became commonplace. Eerie whispers in the wind, inexplicable disappearances, and an unsettling sense of being watched. The masqueraders, hidden behind their deceptive masks, were orchestrating a clandestine invasion that preyed on our collective ignorance. I stumbled upon the truth when I noticed subtle irregularities in the behavior of those around me. It was a cosmic charade, and we were unwitting participants in a game where the stakes were the very fabric of our existence. A group of us, those who had seen through the alien ruse, formed a clandestine resistance. Armed with the knowledge of their true nature, we navigated the treacherous landscape of the masquerade. The resistance uncovered a chilling reality. The masqueraders were harvesting the essence of our emotions. Behind their masks, they fed on the spectrum of human feelings, from joy to despair, using our emotions as a source of sustenance for their cosmic machinations. The once celestial masquerade had devolved into a feeding frenzy on the souls of the unsuspecting townsfolk. With each passing day, the masqueraders tightened their grip on the town, their influence seeping into every facet of our lives. The resistance faced a race against time to unveil the extraterrestrial infiltrators and free our town from the cosmic puppetry. In a daring confrontation beneath the same celestial spectacle that had heralded their arrival, the resistance revealed the true faces behind the masks. The masqueraders, exposed and vulnerable, unleashed a torrent of unearthly power in retaliation. The night erupted into a cosmic battle, where the line between reality and the extraterrestrial nightmare blurred. As the dust settled, the masqueraders lay defeated, their masks shattered, and their true forms exposed. The town, once under the spell of the alien masquerade, began to awaken from the cosmic nightmare. The survivors, though scarred by the ordeal, emerged with a newfound awareness of the thin veil that separated our world from the cosmic unknown. The celestial masquerade had come to an end, leaving the town forever changed. As the stars faded into the dawn, we stood united, a resilient community that had faced the cosmic unknown and emerged victorious against the deceptive forces that had sought to manipulate and consume us. Invasion's descent. I never believed in extraterrestrial life. The notion of beings from another world invading ours was nothing more than fodder for late-night science fiction movies. That was until the night everything changed. It began as an awe-inspiring spectacle. The night sky illuminated by ethereal lights, painting streaks across the horizon like neon brushstrokes. Little did I know, this celestial display was the prelude to a nightmare. As the pulsating lights descended upon our small town, the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy. Panic set in among the townsfolk as the once harmless lights transformed into grotesque figures. These were not the graceful, otherworldly beings I had envisioned. Instead, they were grotesque, nightmarish creatures with elongated limbs and eyes that glowed with an unsettling intensity. The town was quickly plunged into chaos. People screamed as the aliens unleashed havoc upon the streets. Their technology, meant to be superior, was malfunctioning. I could hear the erratic hum of their spacecraft overhead, sputtering and sparking like a dying engine. The alien invaders, it seemed, were not the formidable force we'd feared. They were, in fact, just as vulnerable as any mortal creature. As I cowered in the shadows, I witnessed the aliens' desperation. Their attempts at communication devolved into guttural, incomprehensible cries. It was as if their grand invasion had gone horribly wrong, and now they were stranded on a planet that rejected them. But what made my blood run cold was the realization that they were not alone. From the wreckage of their malfunctioning spacecraft emerged something far more sinister. A dark, formless entity that seemed to feed on the chaos. It slithered through the air, absorbing the alien invaders one by one. Their tortured screams echoed in the night as the entity devoured them, leaving nothing but a chilling silence in its wake. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the horror unfolding before me. The once threatening extraterrestrial beings were now victims themselves, falling prey to an unknown force that had accompanied them on their ill-fated journey. In my attempts to escape, I stumbled upon a group of survivors huddled in an abandoned building. Fear and disbelief were etched across their faces as we exchanged nervous glances. We were all witnesses to the macabre spectacle outside, and the realization dawned upon us. We were not facing an alien invasion. We were caught in the crossfire of a cosmic catastrophe gone horribly wrong. As the night wore on, the entity continued its feast, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The town, once a peaceful haven, had become a gruesome battlefield. I couldn't shake the feeling that we were insignificant pawns in a cosmic game played by forces beyond our comprehension. Eventually, the surviving townsfolk, driven by a desperate need for survival, banded together. We moved silently through the shadows, avoiding the remnants of the failed invasion and the insatiable entity that consumed everything in its path. Our only goal was to escape this nightmarish scene, praying that whatever had befallen the alien invaders wouldn't turn its attention towards us next. As dawn approached, the entity seemed to retreat, leaving behind a town in ruins. The surviving remnants of the alien spacecraft lay scattered like fallen soldiers, and the once bustling streets now echoed with an eerie stillness. The survivors, myself included, emerged from hiding, cautiously navigating the aftermath of the extraterrestrial calamity. We were scarred, both physically and mentally, by the horrors we had witnessed. The night had taught us a cruel lesson. Sometimes the true terror comes not from the stars, but from the unknown forces that lurk in the shadows between them. Eclipsed by shadows. It was supposed to be an ordinary night. The moon hung high in the ink-black sky, casting a silvery glow over the quiet town. But ordinary was an illusion shattered by an unforeseen terror that descended from the cosmos. I first noticed the strange occurrences as I stood on my porch, gazing at the night sky. An eerie darkness swallowed the moon, leaving the world bathed in an unsettling dimness. A sense of foreboding settled over me as a chilling wind whispered through the trees, carrying an otherworldly scent that seemed to seep into my very soul. Then, they appeared. Alien figures, shrouded in shadows, emerged from the unnatural darkness. Their movements were graceful, yet ominous, like specters gliding through the night. I watched in horror as they approached, their eyes glowing with an unearthly light that seemed to pierce through the deepest recesses of my mind. These beings were not like the ones in the movies. They didn't come with violent intent or advanced weaponry. Instead, they brought a pervasive, suffocating darkness that blotted out the stars and cast a sinister eclipse upon our once peaceful town. As the shadowy figures surrounded me, an indescribable fear gripped my heart. Their presence seemed to drain the very essence of life, leaving a cold void in its wake. I stumbled backward, my breath caught in my throat as the shadows closed in, their inky fingers reaching out as if to pull me into an abyss. The town, once filled with the hum of life, now echoed with desperate cries and the haunting whispers of the shadows. Panic spread like wildfire as people fled from their homes, only to find that the darkness was relentless, pursuing them with a malevolent hunger. I joined a group of survivors desperately seeking refuge in the town's abandoned church. The air inside was thick with fear and uncertainty. We huddled together, our eyes darting nervously to the stained glass windows that failed to keep the encroaching darkness at bay. As the night wore on, the shadows intensified their assault. They seeped through the cracks and crevices, twisting and contorting like sentient smoke. We could feel their icy tendrils probing our minds, unearthing our deepest fears and regrets. It was as if they fed on the very essence of our souls, leaving us weakened and vulnerable. In a moment of desperation, we stumbled upon an ancient tome hidden in the church's dusty archives. Its pages spoke of an ancient cosmic force that thrived on extinguishing the light of celestial bodies, sending forth minions to herald its arrival. We were dealing with a celestial harbinger, an entity that reveled in eclipsing worlds and shadows. Armed with newfound knowledge, we concocted a daring plan. We ventured into the heart of the encroaching darkness, armed with makeshift torches and the collective will to defy the cosmic terror. The shadows recoiled at the light we carried, revealing glimpses of the town in their wake. As we pressed forward, we discovered the epicenter of the celestial invasion, an ethereal portal hovering in the sky, pulsating with an ominous energy. With each step, we felt the oppressive force intensify, pushing against our very beings. Yet, fueled by a newfound determination, we pressed on. In a final act of defiance, we unleashed a torrent of light upon the portal, watching as the shadows recoiled in agony. The very fabric of the cosmos seemed to ripple as the portal shuddered and collapsed, swallowing the encroaching darkness along with it. As the first light of dawn broke through the dissipating shadows, the once eclipsed town emerged from the cosmic nightmare. We stood, battered and scarred, witnesses to a celestial dance that had briefly plunged us into the abyss. The shadows retreated, leaving behind a town forever changed by the cosmic incursion. The survivors, though haunted by the memories of that fateful night, bore witness to a truth that transcended the boundaries of their understanding, that even in the face of cosmic horror, the indomitable spirit of humanity could ignite a flame bright enough to challenge the encroaching shadows. Like and subscribe to Sinister Shadow Studio.